Hello, America. I'm Mark Levin. This is Levin TV, part of our Best Of series. This is our second episode on dogs. This is about adopting dogs. It is absolutely wonderful, wonderful story.
This is where freedom rings.
If you believe in America, if you believe in the Constitution empowers us. It's a new day. America's back. America's back, and America's going to get strong again. We're going to defend America, and we're going to defend our interests.
Liberty's voice, Levin TV.
This is about a dog who really didn't like other dogs that much, but then he met a cat. Let's take a look. Go.
Samson is very awkward with other dogs or even other humans. When he's at the dog park, he'll always be the odd one out, just sitting in a corner, doing his own thing, but not interacting with other dogs.
He's a cutie, though.
He just doesn't always know how to play with them. Samson joined our family to be trained as a medical response service dog, but he takes it a little too seriously sometimes. Even when he gets time off to play, he has a hard time understanding when he can just be a dog. The idea of bringing a kitten home came when Samson met his first cat while we were traveling. He spotted a kitten through a window and he immediately wanted to play. So we had decided to adopt a kitten a couple of months later, Cleo. When we brought Cleo home, we placed her backpack in the middle of our living room. We opened it up, and Samson immediately came up and started sniffing. We pulled Cleo out, and he got so excited. We weren't expecting he would be so excited that he couldn't even control himself anymore. Samson treated Cleo differently than other animals in his life. He immediately wanted to be with her at all times. We started taking Cleo on all of our outdoor adventures, and she quickly became a great hiking buddy. On one of our hikes, Cleo got tired. She started dragging her feet. She didn't want to walk anymore and started meowing. So we figured, well, we can put her on our backs, or we can see if she will ride on Samson. So we placed her on Samson's back, and she held on with her claws and stayed there. She seemed to really enjoy herself. Now when she gets tired, we place her on Samson's back, and she just enjoys the view from up there. He seems very proud that he's holding his sister on his back. When I see Samson and Cleo, I see two very different animals who love each other and trust each other. Samson is a huge dog, and Cleo is a tiny, tiny kitten. So it really shows that friendship doesn't have any bounds. Anybody can be friends. Cleo has allowed Samson to come out of his shell and to explore the world more, and we never really thought that that would happen.
That is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And if that doesn't bring a smile to your face, I don't know what would. I'm going to say something that's going to offend a lot of people. Dogs are so much better than so many people. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. And when you lose them because they live such short lives, it's absolute heartache. Absolute heartache. We want to start the program off on a very positive foot. Because there's so much negative going on out there, why not start on a positive foot? And really, what that requires is a dog, or several dogs, but definitely one dog. So enjoy this, and then we'll get on with the rest of the program. Go.
On a nice street in lovely Mount Vernon, there is a house, and next to it is another. There is only grass between the homes, no fence or barrier of any kind. And because of that openness of property and spirit, there has come to be a beautiful friendship, initiated and cherished by a St. Bernard named Brody. Brody belongs to Dave and Edie Mazzarella.
You just turned 2.
Brody is floppy, slobbery, and utterly lovable.
Well, we moved to the neighborhood in 2004. Sally was the first resident on the block. And as soon as we got here, she brought over a plate of cookies for my kids when they were little.
2 years ago, Brody showed up at the Mazzarella home, and he set about making friends.
So then one day, there was another little puppy laying by my sliding doors, and he was so cute and little, and he stayed there. And that was Brody. Oh my goodness! Hi, Brody! Are you bringing me the newspaper?
Sally and Brody just bonded, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful, sweet relationship.
Brody would sit with Sally, and they'd watch their favorite weather forecaster.
So he would come over on the side here, put his front paws up, and look through the window, trying to peep, trying to find out where she's at.
You want to go through the back door?
She started giving him pieces of bread, and he loved it. And when she got some dog treats for him, he refused. He only wanted the bread.
And I will break it up, and now I taught him, to catch it. So I say, Brody, catch it. And then he would go up, what? And it'll go straight in his mouth. Oh, perfect. Oh, you were perfect.
How often did Brody visit you?
Every day.
Brody followed Sally when she walked to church.
You like it?
He tagged along as she tended her plants.
Oh, don't shake off on me. You like it?
Theirs was a true friendship. Brody remembers it all. Dogs don't forget about kindness. Brody got older and bigger.
And look at this beast. Oh, Brody.
And Sally got older too. And a few months ago, after a mild heart attack, Sally gave up her home next to Brody's house and moved to a senior living facility. She's doing well. Recently, she celebrated her 95th birthday surrounded by family and friends. But Brody misses his pal.
He was sad. Yeah, he was sad. He was looking for Sally, and he didn't understand where she went.
Every day now, he rounds the corner to pay a little visit, and Sally is never there.
Yeah, after Sally left, he really didn't know anything different, so he just went over there every day, but not get any more treats. So he would just stay there.
Aw.
Come on, let's go.
And so now, every week or so, Dave helps Brody climb aboard.
I gotta do the rest. There we go.
They drive about 3 miles down the road. Down the hallway they come.
Here we are.
And into Sally's new home strides Brody, like he owns the place.
There she is.
Hi, sweetie. Hi, Brody.
For good friends, the kind who understand one another, there is a relaxed comfort.
You like the shade. Yeah, you don't like the sunshine.
And so it is for Brody and Sally. He plops down in front of her.
You like that? You like that, Brody? Huh?
She rubs his back with her foot. They stay like that for a long while.
You don't like the sunshine. You like the shade. Okay?
Even if Brody could talk, you get the feeling that in this moment, here with Sally, he probably would not. What would be the use? Some kinds of happiness don't need words.
Do you hear the birdies? Huh? Do you hear the birdies?
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And what a nice lady and great dog, too, tell you. We have a beautiful story involving a dog and an autistic child. Let's check it out. Go.
Johnny was 8 years old when Xena came along, and I had never been in the room with Pitbull. I wanted to see what a Pitbull was. She came into this home, and I was shocked. We have a little boy with autism. We were in the process of lots of therapies and trying to get Johnny to open up and talk and socialize. We already had 2 dogs at the time, but they lived completely separate lives. There was just no interaction with him and our other dogs. Xena was dumped in somebody's yard in a county next to ours. The condition that she was in was horrifying. I had my view on pit bulls because I had been listening to what other people had said about them. She didn't get the memo to be mean and aggressive. She was a dog. Without her even being a therapy dog, she just fit right into that role. I feel like she knows she has a job to do. Now this boy who has all these space issues, she just jumped into his lap. She was so excited. He was talking. It wasn't like anyone trying to extract words out of him.
Good girl.
He was saying she has brown fur, and of course the words were not perfect.
It's a tongue.
Does she have a tongue?
Wow.
Zena is completely in tune with Johnny's needs. He was just chitter chatter to her, and he was singing to her. And he talked to her all day long. She was just thrilled that somebody was paying attention to her. She didn't care what he said, so all those words really was therapy for him.
You got a friend in me.
How does Zena make you feel inside, Johnny?
Happy.
Anything that he's doing, she's right there next to him. Johnny actually gets out there into the world. That was a tough thing before her. Getting him to do homework was awful. It was just torture. And all I would have to say was, you can play with Zena after we do homework. And he was on it.
And the blood, they save lives.
Johnny goes running with his dad. He doesn't run, but he's in a jogging stroller, and she is with him. And he gives high fives to everybody.
Good job, buddy. Woohoo!
Here I was worried about the judgment of my son having autism when she herself, a pit bull, has judgment out there as well. They're just like peanut butter and jelly. There isn't a therapy out there that could have done what she has done for him. She's actually our miracle, all wrapped up in fur.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful dogs. I just wish they lived longer, you know? Is it too much to ask for them to live 25 or 30 years? Apparently so. Maybe some of you have had dogs that have lived 20 years. I've read about that, 23 years, I think. I've never had a dog that's lived more than 12. Although Marty, our dog, is, I think, close to 14, slowing down a lot. But, you know, dogs that I've rescued and so forth, none of them have lived beyond 12 years old. It's a killer. And, of course, Barney, I only had him 8.5 years. And he only lived to be about 10. So, but that's a beautiful, beautiful story. So take a look at this. This is from The Dodo. You have a security camera catches a stray dog on a woman's doorstep. Check it out. Go ahead.
My neighbor was out of town, so she checked her security camera and saw that there was a dog sleeping on her porch. She got in contact with my other neighbor, and they were trying to help catch the dog. But every time they tried to get a hold of him, he would run away from them. I was just on my normal walk with the dogs. I turned around and he was just there.
Hey, buddy.
He just followed my dogs, Kokoro and Chibi, into my backyard. He was definitely nervous.
Good boy.
His tail was down, but I think he knew that we were trying to help him.
You wanna come in?
He looked like he had never been inside before. His tail was down and he was looking around really sheepishly. Once we gave him a little bit of time to come in, he picked a place to settle down.
You like that spot?
He was really good.
Hi. You want this? Good boy.
Even after just staying with us that first night, he started looking a little bit more joyful already.
Oh, look at your little tail. Hey, buddy.
Come on, buddy. Come on, come on.
Oh, good boy. Oh.
We took him to the vet.
Good boy.
They did the general physical.
Good boy.
He didn't have parasites or worms, but he was very underweight.
Good boy. Good boy. Look at you all clean.
When we gave him his bath, he just looked so sad.
Come on. He doesn't know what a leash does.
I know. Love you too.
Good boy. See if he'll walk on it.
I think he observed a lot and just picked up on how our dogs were acting and followed suit.
Good boy.
I was worried, but my dog seemed to immediately like him and welcome him into our home. Kokoro has had a couple bad experiences with big dogs, so I was pretty shocked to see her running around with Mello. That was really amazing to see. After being with us for a couple days, I think he got a little more comfortable, and he did start wagging his tail.
Happy boy. Happy boy. Look at your little sploot. Look at it.
Look at that. It just felt good, like we were doing the right thing.
What are you doing? Oh, good boy.
He had a little bit of separation anxiety. I just felt like he really deserved someone's full attention. I like to think that they could tell that it was Mello's last night because they definitely were acting different with him that night. It was the most that they had ever played. Thankfully, we were able to find him a home.
If I scratch me, humor.
They chose the name Mello because of his mellow and sweet personality. I think it was a perfect fit. The whole experience was pretty incredible. He was honestly one of the sweetest dogs I've ever met.
So as I understand this, they gave him to another family to watch him full time. I could never give up that dog. Once I have a dog like that, people say, can you foster a dog? I said, I can't because I keep them all. Become too attached. A beautiful, beautiful story. You know, it's so sad how many dogs are mistreated and abused, or animals generally. They cannot defend themselves. They cannot talk to anybody and explain what's going on. I just think human beings that do that to dogs are the lowest of the low lives. Really, or to horses or to cats or what have you. But I'm a dog guy. And, you know, we've gotten most of our dogs from no-kill shelters. And every one of them has a story. You know they have a story. You can see the psychological impact on whatever came before. But they are terrific. All dogs are terrific. People say, you know, I don't get puppies from a pet store. First of all, there aren't many pet stores left. But it's not the puppy's fault that the puppy comes from a pet shop. Our dog Pepsi, that I write about in Rescuing Sprite, we got him out of a pet shop. But the pet shop got it from a neighborhood family where two breeds of dogs mixed. Wasn't intentional, it just happened, and they had 6 puppies. And I got the only male, the run of the litter, and he turned out to be the biggest, and he was a genius dog. He was half Border Collie and half Cocker Spaniel, absolute genius. And we called him Pepsi. The kids originally, because they were young, they wanted to call him Coke, because he was dark like a Coca-Cola. And I said, well, I don't want to run around the neighborhood saying, come here, Coke. So, being confused with the drug necessarily, I said, how about Pepsi? So we named him Pepsi. And then we would later get we would get a rescue dog that was an older dog who was blonde. And we called him Sprite. And that was the story of Rescuing Sprite. And then later, we got a third dog after Sprite passed away. and his name was Griffey. And Griffey had been so badly abused, just a little guy. When we brought him home, he had to have 19 teeth extracted, 19 teeth. The pain that dog must have been in, and the way that he apparently was kept in a small utility room while these two people would go off to work. He'd spend 10 hours, 12 hours a day in there all by himself. It was a horrible thing. So we had him for about 4 years. And then he passed away December 2010, and Pepsi passed away May 2011. And then I went to this adoption event, was not planning on getting another dog about 6, 7 months later. And there was this little white or sort of off-white dog. He's about 17, 18 pounds. They gave him a bad haircut. And nobody seemed to want him. So my buddy Eric and I, we were at the adoption event, and I think it was at a Petco, and or PetSmart actually. And he was so lovable, would get into our laps, would lick us and so forth. So I said to the lady who founded and runs the Lost Dog and Cat Foundation, I said, here's some money, the dog needs a new haircut. So she took the dog for a new haircut, and the next day I called her. I was thinking about that dog. They had him for over 4 weeks. They got him one of 6 or 7 dogs out of a kill shelter in Southwest Virginia, where they just hold him for 24 hours and then they kill him. They'd been called by the shelter and said, if you want to get him, come get him. And they came and got 7 of them, different dogs. And I called her the next day and I said, what do you know about this dog? All we know is that the owner dropped him off and left him there. I said, okay. And I said, how long have you had him? For 4.5 weeks. I said, all right, I'm going to take him. And she said, oh my Lord, he's the luckiest dog. I said, no, I'm the lucky one. I can't let that dog linger and go, in the van constantly every weekend with a whole bunch of dogs. That poor dog has no idea where he is. His whole life has been turned upside down. So I took him, and that was Barney. And the first night I had Barney, I had, had him a dog bed, made him a bed, put it next to my bed, and he jumped on the bed to sleep next to me. I said, all right. Well, that'll be the sleeping arrangement. You sleep on the bed with me from now on. And he was tremendous. We had him 8.5 years, and unfortunately passed away, as you know, from a very rare cancerous tumor that surrounded his heart and was making breathing almost impossible, and it had metastasized. So one morning he was outwardly healthy. We were walking him. Then he sat down in the grass, couldn't get up. And then 7 hours later, he was dead. So that's my little Barney. I still haven't recovered fully from Barney. So here we are. Anyway, that is a beautiful story about that particular dog. Here we have a couple with a foster dog, and they are surprised by something. We like our dog stories because we're dog lovers here. So we'll start with this. Let's check it out. Go.
Hi, Mama. Good girl.
She was at the shelter.
Let's go. Freedom walk.
Slated to be euthanized.
Nobody wanted her. She just showed up on a farm one day and got her to the shelter, and she's better now, though. What do you think? Look at this beautiful.
Thank God.
She got to be now.
When we first fostered Kaya, her ribs were showing. And she started putting on weight in her belly area extremely fast. So I thought I was overfeeding her. We took her in for a checkup.
Isn't she beautiful?
Turns out she was pregnant. It was a huge shocker.
Puppy's kicking you this morning.
We thought she'd get a normal-sized litter. Near the end, when she got really big, she was really tired and would just lay down or roll in the grass because that seemed to help her back.
It's a little like Brian Stelter.
Dog in labor wants to play with water.
She was starting to do the nesting, and so we knew that within the next 24 to 48 hours that she would start giving birth. Good girl. It was fairly early in the morning, so I'm still thinking 7 or 8 puppies. She's got this.
Good mama.
It's just going to be a day thing, and we'll be done in time for dinner.
Whoa! My goodness. What a litter of puppies.
2.5 days later.
She was very calm and relaxed, so we figured she was done. So we were like, okay, we got 15 puppies. This has got to be it. And then about half an hour later, the heavy panting came back, and then number 16 came. 2 of the puppies were stillborn, and that sometimes happens in large litters like that. We were actually pretty overjoyed that so many of them were so healthy. I've actually never seen a dog so tired in my life. It was all night for at least a week. We were taking sleeping shifts.
It was 24/7.
They're escaping.
They look like little beans.
Yeah, I guess you could say little jelly beans.
We call them little beans. She was amazing. She was very loving and welcoming, and she's an amazing mom.
They would chase her around the yard. Kaya taught them how to start digging, and so they were digging holes. She was a huge help in exercising her puppies.
Come on, buddies! Outside!
They all went to their forever homes at 9 weeks. I never thought that I would get emotional, but it was very difficult. It was definitely worth it. I would say after the pregnancy, I realized that we wanted to adopt her. She's just so sweet. The cuddles, the kisses.
We decided to adopt Kaya and her puppy, Safina. She's my puppy.
They get along so well together. We were able to save 16 lives from just wanting to foster a dog and having no idea what we were getting ourselves into. Oh, sit! Kaya, it's okay. It's okay, sweet. Good girl. Good girl.
I love that story. Too bad 2 of them didn't survive. But I never heard of a dog having 18 puppies. Have you guys? 18? I think I know why she was tired. That's a lot of work, but fantastic. And, you know, again, it's that time of the year. If you're thinking of getting a dog, they'll bring enormous joy to you, obviously. And if your kids want one for Christmas or something, give it a serious thought. Or if you're lonely and you're able to have a dog, nothing like it, of course. And these shelters really are busting with dogs. The no-kill shelters are obviously the best, but these county shelters and city shelters, they are kill shelters. And if you can go there and save a dog or 2 or 3, that would be a wonderful thing. Be a wonderful thing. Mark, what are you doing? I don't talk about what I do, but trust me when I tell you that I am very much involved in one in particular, lost dog and cat. And I always want to know when the truck's going to save dogs, whether they're going to South Carolina or West Virginia or wherever they're going, Southwest Virginia. They get a call that either come now or tonight we're going to be putting down a certain number of dogs. There's a reason why the shelter here is able to move at a moment's notice, because it's something I believe in, something that if they ever need help, they're to pick up the phone and call me. So we do what we can. Unfortunately, we can't do enough, but it really is fantastic. I want you to think about this. I just read that the Salvation Army is really, really hurting, that they are in a disastrous situation. And the reason is because they were pushing their white racism ideology. And they were teaching that white people are bad and white people need to do this and white people needed to do that. So I suppose white people, whatever that means, had enough of it. I went on the radio and I said, I'm never giving another dime to the Salvation Army. I thought they were among the most neutral of all groups. You know, a very long-standing charity with a Christian basis and so forth. But it turns out, like so much else, the culture is devoured. Now, the Salvation Army gave what I thought was a very tepid reversal, but it wasn't good enough for me. So There's a lot of wonderful charities out there. The Good Samaritan charity is a wonderful charity. There's a lot of other charities, religious charities as well, depending on your faith. And there's this, the no-kill shelters. Lost Dog and Cat in Virginia. That's one of the ones that's among my favorite. That's where I adopted Barney from, and I'll never forget it. And they are so wonderful and so humane, and there's so many of them that are. So check it out in your community. You can give them your support because they don't care what race you are, and they don't care what color the dogs are either. It's a wonderful thing. And a lot of these dogs are mixed breeds, just like a lot of human beings are mixed breeds. And that's a wonderful thing too.